Welcome back to Coin Sense and Nonsense. Today we're going to do something fun, or at least it's going to be fun for me, and hopefully you guys will enjoy me having fun. I can't normally get half dollars. I try to go to my bank to get halves, and what was that? Oh, I got a roll of halves. I could only get one roll. That was kind of a bummer, but it might be something special. Uh-oh. Walkers. So I had an opportunity, and let's check them out. Coin Sense and Nonsense. Walking half-dollar talk, a little walker talk, or a little walker talk, depending on where you're from. I'm originally from the east, so I can say walker talk, no problem. But I'm in California now, so it's walker talk. Anyway, let's go through some stats here.
I've put the mintage approximation below the dates. So I've rounded up or down for simplicity, so they're not super tight on the accuracy, so just understand that. So 1917, 12.3 million or so, and the interesting thing to look for on that one is whether the mint mark is on the obverse or the reverse, and we'll go through some of that. 1936, there was 12.6 million of the no mint mark and 3.9 million of the S, and so I'm pretty jazzed to have had one of the S in the pack there. 1941, 11.2 million, or 41D, that is. 11.2 million, or 41D, that is. Nothing, there's a repunch mint mark to look for on that one, so we'll check that out. And then I got 6 of the 1942 plain date. There were 47.8 million of those produced, so that's the reason why I got some more of those than others. 1942D, by comparison, only 10.9 million. Got one of those, and it's really nice in relative terms, so I'm pretty happy with that one. 1943, there's 53.2 million produced, and there's a possibility of what some people call a 3/2 on the date. Others just call it a doubling, so we'll check that one out under the scope. 1943D, 11.3 million of those, and there's a double die to check for on that one. Not super valuable, but still worth checking for. And then 1944, 28.2 million of those, and not a bad quality on that one either. Nothing really to check for there. 1945, 31.5 million of those. And then 45D, only 9.9 million, so happy to have that one. And 1946, I had 4 of those. There's 12.1 million produced, and a couple of them are in decent quality. So there's a double die to check for on that one, double die reverse, and so we'll check a few of them out on the microscope and see what we can find. I'll show you guys what to look for. Actually, I do have a list compiled here of things to check for walkers, so I won't go through the whole thing. If you wanted to pause the video and check it out, you can. Don't want to bore anybody. RPM is repunch mint mark. Yeah, DDO, double die obverse, DDR, double die reverse, for anyone that doesn't know. The dollar signs in the left column or left margin, they're more for approximations of value, just so I had an idea of which ones were more important to check for. There's nothing super accurate there. The double dollar sign are just, worth slightly more than the single dollar sign ones. The triple dollars are the ones we really care about, and there's relatively few in the world of walkers. So yeah, I got a kick out of collecting walkers too. I never thought I'd have a chance to pick any up, so this is a good opportunity. But when I was a kid and took driver's ed in high school, they had a video called Mr. Wheeler and Mr. Walker. So I always have a fondness for Mr. Walker. So anyway, let's check some of these out on the scope. and we'll talk about them more. Coin sense and nonsense. Oh, and a word about the list. Actually, the ones I actually put a black dot underneath the ones that I have to check. So the 1936, and then the 1941D, 42, and 43s, and then 45, 46s. So we'll check them out. All right, here we go under the scope. So let's see what we got. This is 1936, and what we're looking for on this one is some severe, actually maybe I'm better off showing it here. We're looking for severe doubling here. You'd want to see like the tail of the 9 come out, and a little more stuff down here. This one does look like it might be the secondary or the lesser valued doubling, just because it's got the larger 3 and 9, but it's not really a significant doubling. Same, supposed to check in God We Trust, and usually you can see something kind of in this area is more noticeable, and possibly you'd see it, oh, I bumped the scope, possibly you'd see it in the O in God. So doesn't look to have the doubling to me, and nothing significant. So on to the next one. This is the 1936 plain date, I believe. Or is it the D? All right. Yeah, that one was the P, or the no mint mark. So this is the 1936S, and it's basically the same thing. This one, they don't have the severe doubling in the date, but it would be, if anything, these upper parts of the 3 and the 9, and then same looking and more in this area. So doesn't look to have it. On to the next one. So this was 1936S. Right, and here's our 1941D. And the mint mark on these is on the reverse. So there it is. And so we're looking for a repunch mint mark on this one, and I don't see it. So on to the next one. All right, welcome back as we go through the 1942s. This is the plain date, and so just to show you that it is the plain date, actually there is no mint mark on the back, and yeah, it would be right there. Actually, while we're back here, we can check for the other double die reverse. That's, I believe, only on the P, or the non-mint mark, and what we're looking for is in this area here, in the AR, you would see a doubling here in the A. But I don't see it, so I don't think we have anything to worry about there. And same thing here in this A, you would be able to see something on that part of it, which I don't appreciate on this one. So then the other thing to check for on all of these 1942s is the other minor doubling, and I guess she's got somewhere here. Actually, no, I'm better off on the computer again. In this area you would see doubling at the neck, some doubling in this area here, and also at the bottom of the gown. So all in all, no double die obverse, no double die reverse. Boo-hoo. On with the next date. All right, here's the next 1942, and this is still a plain date. Does not appear to have any of the doubling at the neck. Can't really tell on the dress. And just to show you that it is a plain date, and then half the A in half and the A in dollar don't appear doubled, so don't think we have one. On right, to the next coin. The third of my 6 plain dates, 42s, and can't really see anything doubled there in the neck. It is a plain date, and Nothing in the A's down there, and $half. Actually, another place to look too is at the branches. Sometimes you might be able to see a double branch, and even in the United States of America, sometimes on the T you can see it, the T and the A. So let's check the next coin. Alright, in the interest of time, I went through the last of these 6 1942s without you guys, just to not bore everybody to death. This last one has more condition issues, I guess. It kind of rockers back and forth on the flat surface here, but yeah, no doubling, and it's pretty worn, so even if there was, wouldn't be worth much, and you wouldn't be able to tell much. So on to the next. Actually, we'll do 1942D. Alright, we're back with the last, or not the last, but we're back with our 42D. And the thing to check for on the 42D is the doubling that would happen in this area, and at the bottom of the gown. Whoops. And there really is nothing here on this coin, so sadly no doubling. So, but just to show it is the D. And the other things that we checked for on the previous one with the no mint mark, it doesn't exist on the D, so no need to check. So more coming up. Tell you what though, that mint mark does look a little interesting. This is the 1942D. I decided to zoom in a little bit and wonder if there's something going on right there. Yeah, I wonder if there's something going on underneath there. That's interesting. I didn't see an RPM for 1942D listed. I will double check. So it turns out we may have something here after all. I did consult some other web resources, and I did find there are several repunch mint marks for 1942D. So this one, yeah, it looks pretty clear to me that it's a D over D, and I guess it's southwest. The old mint mark, or the underneath mint mark, is southwest of the prominent one. Very cool. Gotta love the scope. So, and the condition on my repunch mint mark is not too bad. This is the 1942D, and still some decent details. Few lines on the leg that you can still see, which is important for grading, so not too bad. Alright, here's the 1943, and this is the plain date. Sometimes what you need to look for on this one is what's sometimes called the 1943 over 2. Some people say it's just a double die with a double 3. So this is the area to check, but mine doesn't have what's needed. And then we could take a look also at the In God We Trust, but mine looks normal, unfortunately. So, and this is 1943 and plain date. So alright, more to come. Alright, this is the 43D, and if there was anything going on, it would be in this area here with the date, and I don't really see anything. There's some kind of a piece of dirt there, and then you might see something in God We Trust, but on this one it's nothing there, and then there's my D mint mark. So alright, on to 1944. Alright, we didn't have any 1944D, and so that's the only one worth checking. Regular 1944 has nothing. So here's 1945, and this is a plain date. What we're looking for on this one is to see if the designer initials are there or not, and in this case they are there, and they look kind of clean. And this is what you're looking out for on the 1945. This is the plain date, and so here's the designer initials. If it was missing that, you'd have something of value, but this is just the regular issue. So On to the next coin. All right, I've got 1946 plain date to check. What we're looking for on this, there's actually a double die reverse and a double die obverse. For the obverse, we're looking for the breast area, the arm. I don't see anything there, and the flag. And I don't see anything there either. So would be kind of in this area here, over here, and in this area there. And for the double die reverse, you're looking for kind of edge feathers here. Any of these feathers here could be doubled. Also E pluribus unum, if that has any doubling, or on the branch. So if you saw extra branches and whatnot there. So I've got 4 to check. This
So
one actually some branch doubling also, and then E pluribus unum, but not in this example, obviously. So I've got a few more to check, 3 more to be precise, and I won't bore you with those. And if I find something, I'll show you.
All right,
coming up.
this is the last of my 4 of the 1946s, and nothing going on. So boo-hoo. More coming up. Walker talk.
All right, and real briefly, our 1917. Nothing great shape, but in 1917, there's an interesting situation. There's the mint mark, if there was one, could be on the obverse or the reverse. So 2 places to check on a 1917. So if there was one on the obverse, would be in this area, and then on the reverse, it would be in that area. And so this is a 1917 plain date, and just wanted to show you that. More coming up.
All right, that's gonna wrap it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the Walker talk and learned something about what to look for on each one. I learned I didn't have a complete list here because that 1942 repunch mint mark wasn't on my initial list, so I had to go to varietyvista.com and check it out. So there are some double dies and whatnot to check for, but I didn't see the repunch mint mark listed in the other resources. So, all right, catch you guys later. Coin sense and nonsense. Hey, don't forget, if you haven't subscribed already, please do. Please hit the like button and leave me some comments. Bye-bye.